You can write your literature review in 30 days or less. I've helped hundreds of students do so, and over the next 4 weeks, I am going to be showing up here live on YouTube, breaking down some initial steps to get you started. But if you want to have the full experience of the 30-day literature review challenge, then you must join us inside of the Institute. The Institute is a membership that will help you write your dissertation in 12 months or less by giving you the structure, the system, and a simple 10-hour a week routine that helps you put words on the page. If you are interested in that, hit the link down below and sign up today. But let's get into it, y'all. I am Dr. Marvette Lacy, and I've been doing this incredible work with doc students for almost a decade. That blows my mind. Okay, it was what year are we in? Yeah, it was just a little bit over 10 years ago that I started my own PhD process at the University of Georgia, and I promised myself that when I figured out this whole dissertation thing, especially the literature review, that I was going to share it with as many students as possible, and that is what I do through my company, Qual Scholars. So let's get into it. I am going to share my screen. Oh, okay. Never mind. Having a little trouble here. I'm used to a different system, so thank you for you all's patience. We're gonna go here. I did download these slides, but since we're here, we're just gonna do that. So like I said, you can use that link below to go ahead and join us. So here's what you're going to get when you join us for the 30-day literature review challenge. I am going to explain to you, which I'm going to do this actually right now, the common mindset blocks and why I start with mindset. This is not as simple as, oh, if you think positively, you'll write your literature review. No, that's not who I am. If you're new to me, then you don't know, but I give tough love. I'm very direct, and so this is not going to be like fluffy. All right, you're gonna get some good lessons here. Explain the best way to start the literature review, the purpose of the literature review, which we're going to get into today, and tips for staying organized. So that's going to be more inside of the challenge where I go through more tangible ways of how to keep yourself organized with all the articles and all your notes, and how do you like streamline it so that you can put the words on a page. We also go over the scholar review process where I teach you how to read articles quickly and effectively so you can put words on a page. Right, you notice the theme here. We're putting words on the page. And by the end of this challenge, you will have your first 20-page draft that you can submit to your chair for feedback. Let me go on a slight rant and then I'm going to come back. Most people think that you sit down one time and you write a document and then you never have to come back to it. And that is a lot to do with how our school system is set up, right? We are trained that we go into a class and that we have these assignments throughout the semester. And once you turn it in and you get your grade, then you never go back to it. But a literature review, a dissertation, a manuscript for publication, you're going to learn that true writing is a process. True writing involves multiple drafts. So there is no world where you're going to sit down and write it up and never have to come back to it. You're going to have multiple revisions. And so something I tell students is that be prepared to write this literature review at least 5 times. The first probably 3 or 4 times are going to be for the proposal, but then you're going to have to come back, especially for those of you doing a qualitative study. You're going to have to come back and redo this, because after you get the data, then you'll know exactly what literature you need to add. So another reason why I strongly encourage people to have a 20-page lit review is because most of the time that's enough for you to propose, because if folks who are on your committee are true qualitative researchers, then they know this literature review is going to change at the end. So let's not get bogged down into the details. Let you go ahead and collect the data and then come back and get it to a more polished point. So that is what we do inside of the challenge. Every day you're going to receive a daily assignment, so you're going to get to see my face, and I'm going to give a short video. In that video, I'm going to explain what the day's assignment is, how to do it, and where you can find some more resources. I ask that every day of the challenge you set aside 60 minutes. Now, there's a way that you can do this. You can either do this day by day, or you can set aside a few days of the week, or sometimes people will say Saturdays is just me, this challenge in the library, and then they just go through all of the assignments. Because I have a rule that you set aside 10 hours for your dissertation every week, or your literature review every week. 10 hours is all you need. And really, you don't even need the full 10 hours, because if you're doing math, we're not at 10 hours. Because if you're setting aside an hour a day, that's 7 hours a week, friend. And so the reason why I do this is because I want to teach you what it looks like to show up, do what you said you're going to do, and be done. You need to learn how to do what you say you're going to do in the time that you say you're going to do it in. This skill is going to go beyond the literature review, the dissertation, this doc process. It is going to serve you so well in life. Most people spend hours and hours in front of their computer because they don't know how to, first of all, plan or like set themselves up for success, but two, they don't know how to be someone who does what they say they will do. And so you think that by putting more time in front of the computer and going and like working all night or getting up really early, that is how you get everything done. No, the people who get a lot done, the people who you admire, they're very they're amazing at practicing constraint. And like, if I give myself an hour, that's all I got. And if it's not done, or wherever I am at the end of the hour is what gets turned in. And I need you to adopt that mindset. We're getting to the mindset piece early, because especially when it comes to this literature review, you need to be done with it. You need to remember there's going to be 5 drafts or more. So let's get the drafts out of the way. It doesn't have to take a lot of time to write the multiple drafts, but it does take decisiveness, and it takes constraint of saying, I'm going to do this in 60 minutes. Okay, I'm coming off my soapbox. I hope I convince you to do what you said you're going to do, but we'll definitely talk more about it throughout the challenge. Progress report. Come to our circle community. So if you are a part of this challenge, you will see inside of our community on the left side that you can go and report your progress. There's a whole section there where you're going to see the daily assignments, the daily videos, and you're going to see other folks in the challenge and what they're working on. So you want to make sure you come there and report, and make sure you like love on other people as well, because we can only truly get out of a community what we put into it. And so go celebrate others. All right, so that's the link for you to join. Now, what are your goals for finishing your literature review? And I should have changed this to put, which I think I have on the last slide, so we'll put it there. I really want you to think about, how do you want to feel throughout this literature review, right? Because the goal is, we're going to do this in 30 days, and I want you to commit to doing this in 30 days or less. This commitment is really important, because part of you, probably a big part of you, is like, it's not possible. I haven't been able to write things in the past 30 days. What's going to make this 30 days different? You have this challenge. That's going to make the difference. You're going to have community, which makes a huge difference. And like 3, you have me to keep you going, okay? But how do you want to feel as you are playing out this commitment to finishing your literature review in 30 days? How do you want to feel on the inside? Do you want to feel like if I think about me, I want to feel confident, or like certain that I know what it is that I'm doing. I want to feel certain that I can like execute on the day's assignment. So when I'm thinking about starting a challenge or any like a huge goal, I'm always like, I just want to show up and feel certain, because when I feel certain, I go and I take action immediately. And so I practice feeling certain. I know people don't usually talk about emotions in that way, but you practice them. And so this challenge is an excellent time for you to practice the way you want to feel. How do you want to feel? And then why do you want to feel that way? And do you like your reasons? So that's part of your first assignment, is to really think about what are your goals for this? Okay, I can't be me if I don't talk about mindset and philosophy here about literature reviews. Y'all, it doesn't matter if someone's like, I'm going to tell you step by step what to do in this challenge, but it won't matter if you don't believe it's possible. And I'm getting ahead of myself because I know I have a slide on this, but I cannot express to you how important it is that you believe that it's possible for you to finish the literature review, that it's possible to do it in 30 days. Because if you don't believe it's possible, you won't show up to take the steps. Even if someone is spoon feeding them to you, you still won't do it because you don't believe it's possible. But let me not get too far ahead. Rule number 1, done is better than perfect. Remember what I said. You're going to be writing this at least 5 times. So we're not trying to make there's no world where you're going to make the first draft perfect and you're going to save yourself the other 4. Listen to me. Okay, because I've been doing this for a very long time, and students love to be like, yeah, Dr. Lacy, I know what you're saying, but I'm going to be the one. And every time you want to be the one, you end up spending a longer period of time working on a literature review. The students who just embrace, I'm going to have to do multiple drafts, they get done quicker. Why? Because they don't fight. They're not trying to make it perfect. They are focusing on making it done. So you're going to have a 20-page draft, not a masterpiece. It's not going to be your best work. Nobody's going to give you no award for this literature review on this first draft. The 20 pages are not about just completely finishing a literature review. The 20 pages is to give to your chair and say, give me your clear expectations and feedback about what a literature review should look like. There is not a one-size-fit-all literature review. There's not like a one way that everyone does it. No, it comes down to usually the writer, what their personal preferences are. And in this case, it comes down to your chair or your supervisor or your advisor, whatever language you use, is going to come down to their personal preferences and expectations of the literature review. However, most people can't clearly articulate what their expectations are because they think, oh, it's just one way. Because we all, like as humans, we are inherently flawed and selfish, and we think that the world thinks like we do. No, your chair, your advisor, your supervisor is no different. They think that everyone thinks the way they do. And so they can't tell you what it is that they want until they have a draft in front of them. I wish it was different, but real life is people need something to critique in order to be more clear with you about what it is that they want. So you're not going to give into overthinking or perfectionism. Your job is to put words on a page and turn it in so you can get the feedback. Done is better than perfect. Writing well versus writing more. I do not need you staying up all night. I need you to give the 60 minutes. That's it. 60 minutes. This is a journey. It's a process. It's not a destination. We're going to continuously work on this draft. And I need you to make peace with that. I need you to make peace that for the next few months, as you are becoming a doctor, you're going to be coming back to your drafts over and over and over. Because this is about crafting a finished product in the way that you want it to look. That is not a one-time thing. You're going to keep doing this over and over. I keep repeating this because it bears repeating. Because I can't tell you how many times I say this to students, and then we get on a coaching call and they're like, yeah, but I really wanted to get done. I want to work smarter. I'm trying to save you long nights of headache and heartache. Just let this be the process, all right? Because we're going to revise. Like, we're going to change things. You may decide to go in a whole different direction. But if you're only considering, like, I need to write all night, I need to just take this 30-day challenge and just put all my hours in, don't go to work, don't do anything, that's setting yourself up. We're just going to get it done. We're going to follow the assignments and get it done. And then the third rule is to bring this full circle in this mindset piece of the conversation. Belief is greater than hustle. Nobody's going to give you an award for doing the most hours of this literature review. Hours does not equate to a well-written literature review. It just equates to you spending time in front of your computer or your laptop. You cannot outwork a shitty mindset. I say this a lot. You cannot outwork a shitty mindset. You're going to hustle, and get nowhere. You're going to be spinning in circles. Why? Because what did I say? If you don't believe that it's possible, you won't do the actions that match you getting to the end goal. You have to become the person. You have to become a doctor and practice being that doctor now in order to have a completed literature review and dissertation. I know that sounds backwards, but that is the key to life. You have to be the thing now in order to have the thing that you want. You want, right, a finished literature review. You want a finished dissertation. You have to be the person who can produce a finished literature review or dissertation. So that means it is more important for you to work on what are you believing to be true about you? What are you believing to be true about your writing? What are you believing to be true about the speed of your reading and your comprehension, etc.? Because that is going to determine what happens at the end of this challenge, not your pretty plan or your planner or your to-do list. It is going to be about what do you believe to be true. All right. Let me know down in the comments, friend, how you're feeling so far. I want to check in. So if you're watching this live or you're watching a replay, let me know. Because y'all know I love a good back and forth. When you might be like, girl, we gonna get to it. Now, most people left this video already. Good to them. Bless it. If you're still here and you're listening to me, I want to say I am so proud of you. Like, most people stop watching this, but you are still here with me. You're still rocking with me. And so you're my people. You're my people. So as we get into this next part, I just want to say keep that same openness, keep that same curiosity as we go through this next part. All right, you are an expert. I know that's going to be hard for some of you to believe. You are an expert. Your doctoral program has trained you to think and to approach problems in a particular way, meaning you are able to take in a lot of information, synthesize it in your brain, and spit out a clear and concise argument. This dissertation, and namely this literature review, is just a test of that. It's your opportunity to demonstrate your ability to take in information, come up with an opinion, a well-founded, like informed opinion rather, and spit that out. Now, we are not going to argue about if it's well-informed or if your ability to do that, because you don't make it this far if you're not able to do it. There's no amount of sweet talking, conniving, what have you. You didn't trick anybody to get here. You worked to get here. You earned your spot here. I know that if you're still here, I know if you made it this far in your process, you, my friend, are an expert. You're brilliant. You're so smart. You may need a process, but that has nothing to do with if you are smart or not. We need to separate knowing how to do a thing and being able to understand a thing. There's two different areas, right? So this program has taught you how to read, like books and articles and other scholarly sources. You know how to go find similarities across the information. You know how to identify where it's like, that don't make sense. Make it make sense. And you know how to communicate it. What you may not know how to do is believe it. You may not be confident in it, but you know you have the skill set. Like, this is very important to distinguish, because the literature review, the reason why a lot of people have trouble with it, it has nothing to do with the reading, which is why I'm always like, stop reading. You've read enough. You need help with believing that you understand what you read. You need help believing that how you interpret the literature makes sense, and you want to know if it's right, but because you're an expert, there is no right or wrong. We are deciding collectively as researchers, as scholars, what is right and wrong. We are the ones who write the textbook. We are the ones people call on when they have a question or they're having a documentary. So you have to let go of right and wrong and embrace, this is how I think about it. Based on my reading and my study and my experiences, this is what I think, because you are the expert. Now, what is the purpose of the literature review? You know, I like to go to Google and I like to look up the words. Literature, noun, written works, particularly those with significant or enduring artistic merit. Okay, review, noun, or verb, depending on how you're using it, but in this case, I'm using it as a noun. A formal evaluation or examination of something to make changes if required. So then a literature review systematically explores published written works to identify existing knowledge gaps and provide new insights into a specific topic. You are going to write a document, a chapter that says, here's what we know in the literature, here are where the gaps are, and this is how this study will provide new insights into the gaps of this topic. Let me make sure I'm not getting ahead of myself So you're going to be writing a persuasive argument for why your study needs to be done by saying, here's what we know, but this is the gaps, and I'm going to fill in the gap. I had I had an instructor who hates the word gap. You were not allowed to say gap in your dissertation. Okay, so what is the purpose? You keep going with the purpose then. It's to set the scene. It's to tell us the background of like what is happening, where the study is happening, tell others about what's already been done with your topic, help you and others to understand the history of your topic. Brief history, because some of y'all think y'all are history majors. Now, if you're a history major, disregard. But for everybody else, you're not a history major. You're not doing a historical dissertation. We don't need the detailed history, okay? We need a brief history. Okay. Points out the important theories and researchers that have worked on your topic. Yes, very important. We're going to use multiple citations, not just one. And then suggest new ideas for further research, which will come into play more at the discussion, but that does have a connection to the literature review. So simply put, your literature review is a way to convince others that your study should be done. You use the literature to defend your argument based on the information you found. Let me say this a different way. Remember, there is no one way to write a literature review. And regardless of what some might want to say, it's a persuasive argument. To be persuasive means that you have to be clear on how you think about a thing. So you're not going to be able to go to the literature and figure out how, like the literature is not going to tell you how to think. Because for every argument, there's a piece of literature to justify it, even those things that contradict one another. So stop reading, looking for the right way, and instead ask yourself, how do I think about it? And then what literature can I find to support that? Because that's what we're all doing with literature reviews. Whether people name that explicitly or not, it's based off of your opinion. We can talk about it in the chat or in the comments. So this one of the final things we'll talk about today is, and one of the first steps of this challenge, your first assignment is to get very clear on what is your topic. Because there's no point to keep going down this rabbit hole of a literature review if you don't even have a topic. This is why I get very frustrated with faculty when they tell their students to start with the literature review. The reason why I get frustrated is because you don't have a topic. If you are a quant person, disregard what I'm saying right now. If you're doing a quantitative or mixed methods dissertation, I'm not talking to you. Qualitative people, make sure the mic is on. You don't take your cue from the literature. Not mainly. And I know somebody gonna feel some way about it, but you don't, because that's a setup. What is your topic? Let's get a clear topic first, and then we're going to go to the literature. If I had my way, wouldn't let you write the literature review until you were done with data collection, but I do understand that this is a learning process. So I'm just telling you how it's done in real life. If you join a research team, most likely ain't nobody looked at no literature. Or if they did, it was a brief review of the literature, but I digress. Anyway, you need a clear topic. A clear topic includes people who have a problem in a particular environment. People who have a problem in a particular environment. People can include many groups, but your job is to get very clear about who you're talking, like who you're going to be talking to as far as participants or who you're going to center in the study. Now, the people you're centering in the study is going to be different than your intended audience, or could be different than your intended audience of the research. I'm trying to think of an example. I could be talking about Chick-fil-A workers, but my intended audience are those who own franchises. Right? The people I'm going to get data from are not the people I'm writing the research for. We're going to talk about audience a little bit later, but I just wanted to name that. So for the purposes of your topic, who are you centering in your study? Now, second, what problem are they experiencing? Problem, a noun, a harmful matter or situation that needs to be overcome. a thing that is difficult to achieve or accomplish, people whose behavior causes difficulties for themselves and others. What is the problem? What is the clear problem? This is the number one reason why students can't get their dissertation, their topic, or their literature reviews approved. You don't have a clear problem. You have a group of people you want to talk to, but what you don't know what the problem is. Or you're talking about it in this very airy-fairy way, or you think everyone knows what you know, but they don't. What's the problem? When you come back next week, next Monday, we're going to get deeper into the problem. But right now, I just want you to put some words down. And then the environment. Where is this taking place? You can think of location, you can think of historical event, you can think of type of environment. Like, where is this taking place? Because that's going to be different. If I'm talking to, I don't know, teachers in South Carolina, that's going to be a completely different experience than if I was talking to teachers in Washington State. Two different environments, two different histories, two different cultures. Context matters. So where's the environment? So let's get into some examples here. So let's say I was exploring the experiences of math teachers utilizing culturally responsive strategies within their classrooms. The people are math teachers. Problem: students of color are not as engaged in the curriculum. The environment: an affluent school district in the Chicagoland area. Right, that is clear. You know then. And the reason why I wanted to put all of these, because I might write the topic like this, but I need to know the additional information. So I could add that in and make this stronger. But this is going to give me my keywords for my literature review. Keywords for the literature review. But if we don't know what the topic is, it's hard to know what those words are. Another example. Examining the identity development experiences of doctoral students at a large Research One institution in the Southeast. This was actually my topic, my dissertation topic. And really it was doctoral students, women, Black women, doctoral students. Problem: high enrollment numbers, but low retention and graduation rates. And then environment: it was a large Research One institution in the Southeast region of the United States of America. Right. It's very clear. I know exactly how I would write this literature review. Okay, one more. Exploring assistant professors' sense of belonging experiences at a large Research One institution or large Research One institutions in the USA. So the people are assistant professors, anyone in that designation. So in general, like the first 5 years, somewhere in there, of their being a faculty. The problem is experiencing a low sense of belonging, meaning they don't feel connected to their department, other faculty, the institution. And because they don't feel as socially connected, it is hard for them to go up for tenure and to get a promotion. Right? This is me doing this really off the fly. The environment, right? It's large Research One institutions in the USA. So it could be any large one, Research One institution. But you see how this is clear? Like I could tell someone exactly what my study is and they can follow it. Your assignment is to do this for yourself. So here's what you're going to do for next week. You're going to decide on your goals. Decide the following. How do you want to feel throughout this challenge? What are your non-negotiables? And what will you do to celebrate yourself when you get to the end of this challenge? Topic. Identify your topic. Identify the people, the problem, and the environment. And then join us if you're not already inside the 30-day challenge. All you got to do is hit that link. It's also in the show notes. And I will see you. We start on March 17th if you're watching this in real time. But if you have seen this video and it's after March 17th of 2024, you can still go to that link and sign up, and all of the videos will be right there for you to go through and to get started on the challenge in the next 3 minutes. I'll also run this challenge periodically throughout the year, so you might be catching us on a live challenge. But either way, the recording is there and you can watch. Like I said, make sure you join us. And I am going to be coming here every Monday to be giving you your new video assignment. And like I said, let me know what any questions or whatnot that you have down below. And that's going to do it for me today, y'all. I hope you have an amazing week. and I will see you next Monday. Bye.